What's up, everybody? So, Married to Medicine season 6 is now back on the air, and it has been moved back to Sunday night where it belongs. Basically, Friday night was a horrible, last season was just horrible for them. So, Married to Medicine opens up basically where the media has been leaving us like since last year. So everybody's talking about Quad and how she's changing and how she doesn't want to be around the group. And basically, she's always hanging around her sisters. If you guys didn't know, Quad has a new job with Sister Circle Live, which is a television show on TV One that, the first couple of episodes weren't that good. They were trying to build a following, but now it's extremely popular because they interview some of the biggest stars. And also, is also now a part of Delta Sigma Theta and that whole sisterhood. And so she's pretty much busy and has other friends, and everybody's starting to feel it, especially Toya, I see, because I don't think that Toya has anything else except Married to Medicine. So she wants to keep her friendships kind of close circle. So all of that's playing out where they're basically saying that Quad doesn't have any time for them. And then they go into this media frenzy talking about this girl who we all know that Greg now slept with or gave head or something with in the hotel room. So basically everybody is, the couples are sitting around talking about this article and they're reading it out loud. And I just think that Bravo TV is very shady they keep highlighting the fact that he has, a very small penis. And that they both gave each other head, and that he wanted to have unprotected sex with this woman. Basically, they're hanging Greg out to dry this season, and it was just kind of shady how they kept putting this article up about his pinky-sized penis. So anyway, all the couples are sitting around talking about this article, and they're like, no, I don't believe it at all. Basically, probably what Bravo told them to say, because they all definitely believe it. And then it pans to Quad after they've talked about the article for like 3 minutes. It pans to Quad and Quad's husband, and Greg is sitting there looking stupid at the table, and she's basically getting out of the bed that she shares by herself now, because she says that she's moved out of the main area in the home to basically be by herself, and she really doesn't talk to Greg, even though she came into the kitchen and she just said hi to him, and he basically was sitting there with a dumb look on his face. He didn't say anything to Bravo Network cameras or anything. So I don't even know if Greg is going to get that many speaking roles this season. But we can definitely see the divide. Even though last year I saw the divide, I really didn't think that Quad was feeling him last year. But now it's apparent that divorce is kind of inevitable. So since Quad is kind of booked and busy, she kind of has a different attitude about this marriage. She's kind of like, I'm a strong woman. What am I supposed to do? Sit home and mope and be depressed? And she's like, I ain't that girl. And I'm like, yes, Quad. You can't let a man have your pride like that. No. So we jump to Eugene and Toya, who are my favorite because they're just always cracking jokes and they're hilarious. So they're at this like trampoline park for losing weight, not like a Sky Zone. We're talking about these mini trampolines where you're supposed to lose weight. So Eugene is going in there with a negative attitude already because he really don't want to do the shit. And Toya's like, come on. We need to get your stamina up. You're on this weight loss journey. He claims he's lost 40 pounds, but I've been looking at Married to Medicine since season 1, and I've seen where he's gained weight, and I really don't see where Dr. Eugene has lost weight. Do you guys see it? I don't see 40 pounds. I see maybe 5 or 10. Nevertheless, they, get this sweat going on and they're doing this workout, and he's complaining and saying that his balls is jumping all over the place. So he doesn't like to do it. And then they sit down and, of course, talk about Quad after the workout. So Toya is telling him that he feels some type of way because Quad doesn't want to be around them. And Quad basically told her, I got to leave y'all because I got to go and film with my real friends, talking about Sister Circle. So then Toya proceeds to throw shade and say, she got, Quad got this little talk show now and she thinks she the shit. She kind of is the shit. I'm not going to lie. This show might take over. This show might be bigger than the real. So, throw all the shade you want. It's a good show. So then we hop over to Contessa. Now, I thought Contessa was going to get fired because do you remember that little article that came out that she basically faked her whole storyline? So I'm like, we're not going to see Contessa no more. But lo and behold, here's Contessa wearing this freaking helmet. She obviously was on the blogs and saw that people didn't like her hair and she tried to change it, but it even looks worse, okay? Just go back to your thin sewing. This wig, it ain't working for you. In the confessional or in real life. So anyway, they're just, going through Contessa's daily life or whatever. She says that now she only works 1 day a week, which I don't know if I believe. But anyway, it shows her being very hands-on with her kids, which is something that she wanted. So kudos to her for getting that extra time in with her kids. And then we swing things over to Cecil and Simone, who, they were having marital problems last year. So it's good to see that they're trying to work it out. So after giving, just a rundown of everything they've been through and how they almost broke up at the reunion and blah, 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 we see that Cecil comes in with some flowers and he's just, saying, yeah, I want to, do a date night. I'm trying to move back into the house and blah, blah, blah. You can look at Simone's face and tell that she is not really having it. She's like, pump your brakes. I don't know about all that. He basically went in there to solicit her for sex, and she's just like, eh. She says that she doesn't think that she lost her sexy, but honestly, Simone is weird when it comes to sex. We've seen that since the first season when she says that she doesn't like to receive oral sex because when her husband comes back up, she doesn't like the way that his mouth smells. So that was the weirdest shit I've ever heard, by the way. But we all have our little quirks about us, and Simone just isn't really the sexual person. Remember that time where she was giving Toya hell because she was like, Toya, your vagina is all beat up. And she said, yeah, girl, me and my husband be having fun. And she was like, Toya, I can't believe this. So basically, I'm just saying that she's not really, Simone isn't really a sexual person. But it'll be good to see how this plays out this season. So then when we meet up with Daddy and Heavenly, of course, her daughter Aurora is there with her attitude, as always. I really don't understand their mother dynamic, but whatever works for her. Anyway, she asks Daddy, she's like, do you think I'm mean? Because me and my friends are going through it. They're having these marital issues. They say I don't give good advice. They say I was being petty last year, which she was. Those questions when they were on that daggone couples retreat, I was like, girl. So then Bravo TV is petty and they flash back to all those shady questions that she was asking Toya and her husband and Cecil was getting extremely angry. And that episode was hilarious, by the way, but I could not believe some of the questions that were being asked. So honestly, I think that Heavenly and this little spiritual guidance BS is just that, some BS. And I feel like her husband coddles her behavior, and I really don't have anything else to say about that. Her and Daddy just, whatever. Heavenly's mean. So now it's about to move on to this final scene at this leather and lace party that Simone is throwing to try to get her sexy back. So we pan to Mariah getting ready for this leather and lace party, and she has some nice leather boots. And basically her husband asks her how she feels about Heavenly and this whole mess and how she feels about seeing her. And she's basically like, I don't feel no type of way about seeing her. Basically, she hasn't forgiven Heavenly for drawing on her poster at the reunion. I mean, come on now. Mariah is really dramatic about this damn poster. I'm like, if I hear one more thing about this poster, let it go. You act like she killed your chicken or something. But anyway, nevertheless, Mariah is still very upset about this. So when they get to the party, when they first get there, she's cordial. She's acting friendly with everybody. She even, sits on Heavenly's lap, what it looks like. And they have a good old kiki and laugh. So let's just see how this shit turned left, okay? Everybody is there except Quad and Toya. Toya claims that she's going to be late. She had to go to the emergency room with her husband or something like that. And Quad never called poor Simone back when Simone tried to invite her to the event she was having. Yeah, okay. She didn't want to film. She didn't want to be put in the hot seat. And I honestly feel like if Jackie can do it, Jackie showed the bravest face ever. She filmed. She told her side of the story. And, people had sympathy for her. Quad just needs to go ahead and do the same thing. So they move on to this little life session with this life coach or this doula or whomever she is to Simone. They move on with this. And they're basically telling her that, yes, intimacy is the first step to, getting your sexy back and getting back on track with your husband. That's all Cecil really wants to do. And she's basically just saying that she's not feeling it. She still kind of has a grudge and she's definitely not feeling it. And then Dr. Heavenly like, girl, bye, I've had some of the best sex of my life when I'm mad at Daddy. Whatever. Honestly, if I'm mad, I can't have sex either, but whatever. So basically, Simone doesn't want to do it, and she shouldn't have to, is what the doula or life coach or whomever is telling her. But honestly, she just needs to suck it up and do it. I mean, what is the big deal? That is your husband of I don't know how many freaking years. What is the big deal? Do you detest sex that much? So basically, that was all she wrote. And this little life doula, she left out or whatever. So that is when the drama starts, because Heavenly's like, here, Mariah, I got you a gift. Talking about a poster. And that's when Mariah turns on her dramatic, oh my God, you are evil. You took the ugliest picture of me. I was at the lowest point in my life. I'm like 40 pounds heavier in this picture. Honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with the picture. I probably think that producers told her to print that poster out or to print this specific picture, to be honest, because the producers are messy, and they love drama. So Mariah definitely flips the script and, starts going in on Dr. Heavenly. So while they're talking about, oh my God, you drew on this picture this, you drew on this picture that, she basically says, that she apologizes. She drew on the picture. She's sorry. She thought it was funny, haha, but obviously it wasn't. So Mariah's like, you and your fake phony ass apology, y'all can kiss it. And she smacks her ass. And I'm just like, yo, is all this even necessary? Mariah is being hella extra right now, even for Mariah. So then, of course, Heavenly gets petty with her back, and she's like, your teeth look really pretty. Because if you guys remember, about 2 reunions ago, Dr. Heavenly was going in on Mariah's teeth, saying that she had cavities and her breath sting and stuff like that. So then Mariah clapped back and said, well, you need to fix yours and your husband's. And she said, you need to fix your husband's with his small stuff. Now, let me tell you how Bravo is so petty. They flashed to these men right here. When Heavenly said, fix your husband's small stuff, they flashed to the gay men in the scene, and it's hilarious. Now, when she said go fix your husband little stuff, now apparently all these doctors is working with something little, because that's all I've been hearing for the past couple of months, is that all of them got very little penises. But I digress. Whatever. I can tell that daddy is kind of working with a little something. So then Mariah comes back full force talking about I know what Damon like, and I can name a few people that Damon slept with, and blah blah blah. I don't think she has any receipts at all. I just think she was trying to get up under Heavenly's skin. That's why Heavenly didn't even flinch. Heavenly was like, girl, bye. Don't even do that. Don't even start that. I'm not about to fight you. And she's like, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. And then Bravo pans back to these gay men again. When she said, I know what Damon like, it pans back to the gay men again. And I'm just like, Bravo, you so petty. So after Mariah has to basically be carried out of the room because she's about to fight Heavenly for absolutely no reason whatsoever, just at that instant, Toya pulls up, and Toya is confused, and she's like, what's going on? She's like, can we just go in? Can we all just get along? Can we go have a drink or whatever? She's like, girl, me and Heavenly about to get into it. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she goes back in. She's like, as long as we can stay in one corner of the room and they can keep Heavenly on the other corner of the room, because Heavenly does not like me and I'm not going to get into it with her again. So they walk in here. Basically, nothing else happens with Heavenly and Mariah, thank God. But honestly, I think that Mariah was overreacting, if you ask me. So the ladies sit down to once again talk about Quad and how she's being distant, and Mariah is telling them don't take it personal. She's probably just embarrassed, and she's probably trying to protect herself and her husband, and she just doesn't want to talk to the group right now about the situation. But all of the ladies are feeling offended that Quad doesn't want to come around. And I'm like, how can you guys not see how embarrassed this lady is right now? Like, that story that came out was freaking embarrassing, okay? They're like, well, we already knew about the story because she told us at the reunion. She didn't tell you guys the whole story, and neither did Greg. That story is freaking embarrassing. Everything from the pinky size, penis, to are you gonna put on a condom, to he just gave me head and that was all he was good for. Everything was embarrassing about that story. She don't want to sit down with y'all and tell y'all that story, and I can't believe that they cannot understand why she doesn't want to do that. But hopefully these ladies just give Quad the space that she definitely needs to overcome this embarrassing ass story, okay? And hopefully she get the strength to leave Greg, okay? Greg the voice is what I call him, because his voice is weird as hell. Then they flash over to Quad basically giving herself a pep talk in her bathroom, and you can just see that she's going through it. And even though she's ready to divorce him now, as she said on Sister Circle Live, Quad is still in my prayers. And that's it for this week, and to next week's review.